So, on the channel here, we've been talking about the 59-cent resistance for quite a while. But as you guys can see clearly on your screen right now, we are at 60.2 cents. So something definitely has happened. And today I want to talk with you guys about what I think about XRP's future and what exactly we're going to be doing. But before we get into that, make sure you press the like button because we're giving away 100 XRP, which I actually want to potentially top up to 500 XRP because we're almost at 50,000 subscribers, guys. So make sure you press that like button, make sure you comment something down below, and make sure you subscribe because that's all you need to do to enter into this giveaway. Having said that, take a look at XRP, guys. It is beautiful. We are at 60.2 cents right now, which is pretty damn amazing if you ask me. So yeah, I actually a little bit earlier today was taking a look at some of the Fibonacci levels as I find those so fascinating. I mean, if you take a good look at what they mean, it is by definition fascinating how everything shows those patterns, but also in the XRP price here, there's a couple of interesting things I would like to discuss with you guys. Now, one of those is if you take a look at both of these moves from our lowest point till our first high, and then actually the second high, which has now already been faded over, but it was there for a little bit, and I just took it as an example. An interesting thing is that almost everything coincides with this 89-cent level. I mean, a lot of earlier resistance was at about 59 or so cents. We've talked about that for a very good while, but apparently XRP waits for no man, and we're just skyrocketing past that. And as I've said before, this right here, April of 2018, is going to be very pivotal for XRP's further progress. As we can see, it shows up on a couple of these fibs, but more importantly, and very important, is just one of the earliest resistances after the big bull run, right? So one of those is obviously going to be 1.7, so $1.07, which was the first, I guess, shove back upwards. It was just a test, it was the first lower high that we reached, which was at about $1. I guess it's somewhere, let's see here. Exactly, it is $1.22, not $1.07. $1.22, around that area is where we made the highest point of the first lower high. And the second one right there being about 95 or so cents. I'm actually counting this whole area at about 87 to about 94 cents or so. I think that area is going to be very, very pivotal, as that's the first time I'm really seeing some strong resistance. All of this stuff we're seeing right now, I've told you guys a couple of times before, it is all just noise. It is all just noise, and people fussing about it, they're all not really making too much sense, as all this that's happening right here, right, it is all based upon almost nothing. What we're witnessing right now is based on big institutional investment, real money coming on in, and on top of that, retail is still going to be coming. And I thought about that for a little while. Whenever we're looking at these extended levels, and I know a lot of you guys watch other analysts who talk about why this, why that, I like to look at it very simply, very plain Jane. All right? Whenever we're looking at charts here, I'm not always thinking we're going to be extending this far. But with XRP, I'm definitely quite certain we're going to get there. Why? Well, there's a couple of things I've seen people do. And one of the fun things I actually see them do is copy the 2017 bull run and stuff like that and actually take it up and compare it to what we've seen right now. And very often they just like to, take it like this and extend it and go amazing with it, stuff like that. I've seen that happen very, very often because whatever way you want to light it up at, eventually it'll work, all right? Eventually it'll line up. That thing, though, I do not really like because you really can't make too much sense out of it. I mean, you can always manipulate it in the way in which it will work for you, which I don't know if that really makes sense. I don't know if that's going to be worth it. But one of the cooler things I personally think is kind of line up with what has historically happened and what can happen and what made things rush. So back in this time, let's think about this a little bit more factually. Back in this time, what we saw was mostly retail hype. There was a part institutional investment, which most likely kicked everything off, but the majority of what we're seeing right here, especially this last whole chunk, let's actually do it the other way around here. This last whole chunk of 2 weeks was mostly institutional investors or no, retail investors buying it up. Why? Well, I've explained earlier, there was a lot of Coinbase hype around the time. There were a lot of people who were speculating about something like that happen. And I think right now, that is a tip we have not seen whatsoever. And right now, all this is just the start, like in 2017, where a lot of that stuff happened, just the start of something building up. It's not actually this point quite yet, as I do not think for Bitcoin that we have hit that point either. I mean, if you take a good look at Bitcoin here, and you take a good look at the bigger picture, I want to see this a little bit differently, right, with Bitcoin. Let me actually quickly get rid of all these fibs. I had all these ones in to make a bigger point of explaining to you guys why for Bitcoin, the first real point we should be looking at is about 30,000. And all the 20,000, all the all-time highs, just, again, to keep you busy, but it's not really that important. With Bitcoin, if you take a look at the bigger picture of what's happening right now, we all know that it's, again, a little bit of a situation where you can take the bull run of that time, you can take that and just kind of compare it to what's, oh, let me not move those resistances. This is very annoying to grab. Oh my days, guys. Why is this so annoying? Why did I do it that way? Can I? This is not working. Wait, let me try. I can. There we go. And they're comparing it to what has happened just now. Can I do this? And people are just putting this in different ways, shapes, and forms. I've been seeing them doing it. And I don't know, just a couple of the ones I saw, they worked quite properly. I mean, look at this one, for example, as well. Right? If you just kind of push that bigger a little bit. Take a look. You guys see what I'm trying to say here? People have been adding that on top, and even though history doesn't repeat itself, let me quickly see if I can try to replicate it a little bit so you guys can see what I'm trying to say. I don't know exactly how they push it, right? And I don't want to copy the videos as well too quickly. I just want to quickly show them again what I'm thinking a little bit. Look at this. Look at how perfectly this kind of thing looks, right? It's just a little bit shifted. You guys get the idea, though. I'm just trying to push the narrative on you, not the exact same thing. But whenever I look at those things, I'm like, yeah, it's actually quite obvious. Whatever happened here at the beginning of 2017, that's when people start to hear a little bit about Bitcoin. They start to think about it a little bit. And then this was mostly retail hype. But the point is, people start to get into it very far later from when the initial big runs started to happen. And some people forget that the beginning of 2017 already had unprecedented gains happening. And this is already where people went berserk. And this is just after the fact, was all just a start. And with Bitcoin, what we're seeing right now, whenever I look at it, I'm like, well, I don't think the big bull run has just started, because it doesn't feel that way. With Bitcoin, whenever I'm looking at it, it's like, well, we might have done what I told you historically is something that happens more often. It is that Bitcoin goes on to a rush first, then moving into altcoins. But whenever I'm looking at it right now, I sometimes think Bitcoin is actually just starting on out and has gotten its first initial gain phase going on, where maybe a small correction might come, maybe towards 15,500 or so. We can't really tell after the all-time high, or a little bit above there at around 20,000. We might fall back down a little bit to maybe the first bigger fib at about, what's it now, 15.7 or something along those lines, and then just keep skyrocketing. In my opinion, this 4.2 is something of more significance for where we're eventually going to be heading, all right? This is the stuff I am sometimes thinking about. When exactly, that's hard to tell, because I've shifted it now and it's not perfect. It's just to give you some idea of the possibilities there. It's really not that crazy to think that either this was the start of the initial newer move right here in the beginning of 2019. Again, I can't really do that properly because I haven't taken the time to really push this on perfectly, but I've seen some guys do it, and a lot of them make sense, all right? A lot of them make sense. Just trust me on that one for right now, that it is something to intuitively think about. Can we prove it with real, I guess, hard facts? No. But can you do any of this TA with facts? No. It's all based on belief. Because some guys in my comment section, and some guys that are, been trading for years now, that I'm good friends with, even though I've traded for years, I don't mean to say that, but I mean, they're different than I am, I guess. They say, yeah, you can make money with it, but it's not like it necessarily really works, if you guys get my picture, all right? There's always a debate about whether or not this stuff is really just a little bit of pushing your luck, or if it really, really works. Ultimately, it's all just looking at history, and we're trying to predict the future based upon history, right? But with a lot of this XRP stuff, a lot of this crypto stuff, it's not like future really repeat or history really repeats itself, because every time we're seeing a move, it is based upon something so completely different. This time around, I think it's nothing to do with hype. I think it's mostly built upon the fundamentals that Ripple gave XRP, but also what crypto has kind of built for itself, that name. As you've seen, there's a lot less retail hype, and that is because retail hype only comes once we're already high towards the end. And right now, since we're not even close to the 0.2 fib, at about 89 cents or so as well, we don't even have to worry ourselves about any of this. I think this is all just the start of something bigger. And we're going to extend. All right, we're going to extend. Don't you think we're going to go at least, if we take a look at this run right here, to this level at about $2, which is the 4.2 extended level from the fib right now, and even this one, which is the extended level from the previous one. Whenever there's a new high made in any of these runs, people are like, whoa, yeah, that's the highest we're going to be going. But that's because this is just unprecedented territory for us now. But where we're heading, guys, $13, $15, somewhere around that area. Eventually, it's going to be looking like Bitcoin has. Look at this. Take a good look. XRP is most of the time a little bit of a copy of what Bitcoin has done, right? And with this one, if you take a bigger look at what Bitcoin has, or what XRP is doing right now, this is going to be just one of the mountains at the start. You know, like this is just like your mountain in your backyard. I don't even know. And this is like the Mount Everest, which you're going to climb eventually. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be a good hold, but we're going to be getting there eventually. And when exactly, that I cannot tell you guys. That I do not know. But that it is coming, it is looking like it, guys. It's looking like it. But at least XRP will copy that Bitcoin chart. It's going to be doing something similar where it's going to be going up. And I've told you guys this many times before, and I'm going to keep reminding you guys, I am not touching this XRP till we are at least a couple times all time high. Maybe I'm cashing out 5% here. And a little bit later today, I want to talk more about what I've been building and what I've been, trying to give to you guys as well. I'm trying to make more of this type of stuff which you can work with or do something with, like for example, crypto tracking. I put a little bit of a sheet here together to put some cool things in, but I'll be talking about that a little bit more later today. I'm also starting a membership thing on the channel. You guys know how that works, right? Where you can just support the channel with like a couple dollars a month if you want to, of course. And I'll just put some cool things in there for people who do. But of course you don't have to, as I'll be making these videos every single day still, talking about the prices and yeah. So if you're wondering where's my bets, where's my money going, I've just now a couple of hours made a video where I talked about what happened to Stellar, what happened to VeChain, and right now I can also tell you guys what has happened to XRP. And the thing is, we've made videos all month, but couple of videos that were kind of apparent were a couple of ones we made on, let me quickly see here, I believe it was December 23rd or 24th of 2019. There were a couple of interesting videos there, and of course at some of the lower points down here in March, there were a lot of videos that were very, very bullish at that time on XRP. And even I think, what was the last video? You guys can look it up here. When was the last video I talked about why I am buying XRP? I can just look it up for you guys on the interwebs right now as well. If you just go to YouTube, why I bought XRP Dusty BC. Let's quickly check here. I made one video. It's very difficult to see that. I see one here at about, let's see, 1 year ago, July 21st, 2019. Let's see exactly where that one is at. July 21st, 2019. So that is in this area right here at about 31 cents. If anybody followed me there, they would be in profit. That feels good. All right. I'm not trying to tell you guys, hey, go that you're a financial advisor, because that's not it. Okay. 5 months ago, here's another one. Let me quickly check that one out then. This is June 16th, 2020. So that is right around here this week about that, which is about 18 cents. Then I bought more XRP, and that's what I'm trying to do, guys. I'm just trying to point out when I think it's a good buying decision, and the same thing you saw me do for VeChain and Stellar. It's not like I'm only XRP, and that's why I've also been saying I think all that we're witnessing right now is still perfectly fine. Before I said 50 cents and under is a good average price to have. Right now I'm saying everything under 89 cents as an average price is going to be good. But if we're honestly speaking, guys, honestly, everything under a dollar and everything under even 150. I think all of that is going to be fine longer term because I think we're going to be hitting this all-time high. Not too long, all right? Not too long, depending on what Bitcoin is going to be doing. If Bitcoin is going to continue on with the gains and go past its all-time high, which it is looking like it will, we're definitely going to be seeing XRP go completely exponential. And there's a good chance that what we're witnessing right now is not even that final move. But really, what happened that previous bull run with XRP as well is that week after week after week after week after week, it kept gaining. And day after day after day after day, which might be the start of what we're seeing right now. But even now, let's quickly compare. This candle here was 350 or something like that percent. All that we witnessed within these last couple of days, just to compare for a little bit, is 138. Don't you guys also see from the back of your heads that if we are going to continue these same gains, right here, it's, let's see, about 1,200% or so from the start of this move, 1,200%, let's see where we would end up. This is already at about $3.50. Okay, that's actually not that much of a difference. It's some difference. It's about 30 cents, which is how much? 10% as well? Yeah, but it's just the start of everything. Let's quickly see what else could we take a look at right now. There's a couple of things I've been thinking about here. There are a lot of comparisons we could draw. There's a lot of Fibonacci we could kind of explore. The only problem is I don't really know what else to tell you when I'm so determined where we're going to go. Right? I'm so determined. We took out the last zone. There's one interesting resistance which was residing here at about 58, which we've just passed, which I'm hoping will stay above, because if we do, I'm calling it, guys. I'm calling it right now. Our next point is going to be 89 cents if we're going to stay above here, all right? And I guess the weekly is not going to work properly for that. We would have to take a look at the daily here, okay? We actually have to look at maybe 1 hour is going to suffice. So we breached it this hour previously. We're 17 minutes in. If we actually get another green candle going, there's a good chance we can just take the long all the way to 87. And I've been saying it on the channel a couple of times right now. All right, my calls have been pretty straightforward and pretty damn on point in the last, I think, maybe 3 weeks or so. But again, none of this is financial advice. I'm just really bullish at this point, and I think there's a good future for all these guys. Let me quickly see again what when I said it here in the community tab. When was it now? So yeah, about 3 hours now. 3 hours ago exactly, I told you guys 59 cents is going to be coming. And there we go. On Twitter a little bit earlier. Let's quickly check here. When were we saying it now? Let's check here. On Twitter, I said it. Let's see. I've been tweeting a lot of stuff, haven't I? Okay, 59 cent, new target for XRP. Wake me up in a couple of hours when we get there. Done deal. We are there. So next point, let's quickly take a good look at where the next point could lie. Let's actually check back onto the weekly. I think that's the best thing to do because those are the bigger points for XRP. So we just took out this 59 cents, which was my most important barrier, definitely by a long shot. I'm going to guess 68 cents here is going to be another very determining point, which most likely is another free range type of scenario. I don't think much will hold it back, honestly. And then we're right on ahead to 89 cents, which is still some nice gains though, guys. I mean, the gains are getting less and less the longer you wait. Let's see, I have to press shift. I'm not good at pressing that. Which is still about 50 something or so like that percent to go. Depending on how you look at it, maybe like 45. But from this last resistance, which we're going to get to pretty damn soon here, it's only 20 or 25 to 30% though. It's getting closer and closer. But from that point forward, we're going to have to draw a couple new lines and see where the end goal is going to be taking you guys. And also, I need to tell you guys more about my exit strategy, man. My exit plan and how I'm going to get rid of these coins. Because yes, I'm very determined we should not be letting go of coins before all-time high. But I'm more determined that you should have a strategy for what you're going to do afterwards, right? Most people are in profit with Bitcoin, not with XRP yet. But even if you were, what would you do with the money? That's very important to consider. And that's why I've been putting a lot of strategies in place here. And I've been putting a lot of stuff on paper and telling you guys a lot of what I'm thinking, so you guys get a good intuition of what you should be looking for next and how you can maximize the profit. Because even if XRP goes to all-time high, I know for a fact a lot of you guys won't be satisfied. So that's why, first of all, we're going to dream for something higher. Even I, guys, I'm not happy with that just quite yet. I'm going to be first looking at about $5 to $5.25 to look for my first exit. That's what I'm personally thinking at. Maybe like $4.90, just depends on a little bit. But from that point on forward, depending on how exponential things are going to be going, which we are expecting, I'm going to be looking at even possibly buying some more for the next wave upwards, because this is all unprecedented territory and it just needs us to break this level before we can start going higher, which we're all expecting. There was also BC Backer, and there was another analyst who just recently talked about XRP breaking all-time high and most likely getting to $10 plus levels. At first, I used to not really be a fan of them, but the closer we're getting, the more I'm noticing this is just a small peanut move to the bigger picture. Oh, my days, are we looking bullish, guys. This stuff happens so fast. It's going to happen so fast, and you're going to blink and miss it. All right, that's what I keep telling people. You're going to blink, and you're going to be gone. Blink, gone. Blink, gone. It's going to be happening once more. Whew, I'm hoping I won't miss that train. But yeah, I've been explaining to people, and I'm going to keep doing that, how you can maximize your profits and how you're going to cash out properly to make sure you get yourself some passive income going. Because I know a lot of the people I talk to, they're single dads, single father, which is the same thing, single parents, or just people who don't have it well financially, and they're hoping for a way out of this rat race or something like that. And I'm pretty sure that gains in XRP can make that happen. Again, not a financial advisor, not trying to make you guys buy, because we may always go down. Everybody knows that. But the chance of going up is just, in my opinion, way higher, and I'm going to take that bet. But the higher we go, the scarier it gets. All right, I kind of had a guarantee that below 50 cents was going to be fine. But right now, we're already at 59.9. All right, so we're already 20% up from my guaranteed good price. From this point on forward, I think if we stay above here for the daily, one can close, even maybe a 4-hour. Yep, it's going to be first line. 68%, which is another nice little profit of about 20% or so, which we can easily take if this breaches. I'm going to be taking that myself then. And if that one goes on, I think we have free range all the way up to about 89. And I keep saying that because it keeps looking like it, but every time there's just a little snippet that we may hit along the way. But right now in the middle here, I don't think there's much else we should be watching out for. Do you guys agree? It's kind of clear. There's nothing really that's holding it back. Maybe something here, but I don't think that's going to be too relevant since we had a lot of price action afterwards. Yeah, I think we'll be good then, guys. Maybe some guys will call out 74 cents. You know what? Maybe because it's such an important psychological barrier at 75, we can actually take a good look at that later. But that's again for a little bit later, tomorrow though. For right now, we're looking at 68, or if we're going to be falling down, I think this whole zone we can kind of ignore now, as that's already been proven to not be a very strong competitor. I think more so at this area right here at about 48 or so. That's our bigger support we should be looking at. But of course, that is just following what has happened before. And if we're honestly, and more so with logic looking, I think 53 to 55, that little zone, if we can actually draw a little bit of a rectangular, I think this little zone right here from around here to here is going to be way more important to take a look at for another bounce upwards, like we explained on the other XRP to USD chart. Actually, from that point forward, I'm definitely going to be taking another trade upwards if we bounce back, because I think, again, 58 was another important level, and 68 or something like that is going to be the next one. Guys, this was way too long of a talk. Way too much theoretical stuff, way too much hype, way too much bullishness. Things are looking good. We're going to be continuing on with the gains. I'm really, really positive about it. And yeah, everything is looking pretty damn juicy, guys. Pretty damn juicy. Look at this. We were talking about this zone just a couple of days ago, explaining how if we breach, we're going to take the long. Well, funny, but actually very funny. The day it breached it, if you took a long, look at the daily profit on that little snippet, 40%. The day we breached. And this was not made yesterday, all right? This was a couple, I think it was even before the time when we talked about this. I think it might have been November 3rd or something like that. You guys need to check the videos back when we talked about this zone. But it's pretty funny to see the day we breached it, just a huge long afterwards, showing this was actually a really, really important zone back at the time. And I thought this would be as well at about 59 cents, which is another one which I haven't drawn in here apparently, but right around here. But I don't know. It looks to be skyrocketing just past it with already a top at 62 cents. So let's watch this very closely, guys. I'll be back though a little bit later, and we'll talk a little bit more about this if we get rejected or if we go even higher. We'll see. It's looking pretty interesting. But I'll see you guys again in another crypto video.